Okay. Alrighty. So it is recording now. So
What's up?
nothing much, man. Um. So hi everybody. Good afternoon, evening, wherever you're listening to this on. This is Off the Runner, a Gundam podcast, episode 3, and we are down one man.
Man
Mr. Ed
down, man down.
is not able to make it here today, so it's just myself, MVious Cosplay, and DJ Provoke joining you tonight.
Hello,
Um.
everybody.
So how you doing, man? How's it going since the last time we talked?
Great. So I want to give a big shout out to New Type. I don't know if I'm sure that other people are familiar with New Type, but New Type is basically like a something that I found online. I think that's how we really started getting in touch with like the Gundams and everything, because I had asked you a question about if they were like a reputable company, and I had asked you a few things about ordering like the Gundam models through them. So I finally got my order. I finally placed it because they actually didn't take long. They honestly, like, I think I put in the request or I put in my order like on a Wednesday, and then by the next day they're saying, hey, you're gonna get your order in on Saturday. And yeah, they came through. There was some delays by FedEx, but that's not because of New Type at all. New Type
Yeah.
did everything on their end perfect. FedEx, what can we say? But awesome. I'm super happy with everything that I got. I got at least for myself, I got all real grade Gundam models, the Strike Freedom, and then also the Ale Strike Gundam. So, and
Yeah,
then
I
for the kids,
saw your Instagram post that you got all three of them. I'm like, dang, dude.
I said, you know what? If I'm gonna save some money here, because New Type on orders right now, if your order is over $100, then you get free shipping. So I made sure that I ordered, at around 100 or so. I also got their New Type mask and everything. So it's not. I mean, it's great to have, if you're doing like hand painting,
Yeah.
because then the fumes are not going directly into your lungs, when you're doing like up close like hand painting. If you're doing like airbrushing, spray painting, then
That's
just then you want like a very good like painter's mask, and I use that when I do like more spray painting stuff for bigger areas. But this is really good, like, even to keep some of the plastic particles out of your lungs, when you're clipping, if you're doing a
yeah.
lot
Oh
a lot of
my gosh,
clipping.
man.
Yeah.
I really should have instead of just wearing my contact lenses, I should have just worn my glasses, because when I was doing my live stream for my Char Zegok on my Twitch channel, I was like always dodging out of the way every now and then, or having close calls because of those little pieces off the runners kept flying off.
That's why I wear my glasses too. I've had a few, fly right back at me, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna wear glasses from now on.
Yeah. Alrighty. With
What's up with
see,
you? What have you
huh?
been up to? What have
Um,
you been up to, man?
I've actually just been doing a lot of waiting lately because of the from the store that I got my Char Zegok, as well as
Hmm.
my high grade Zegok experiment. That wasn't from New Type. That was from USA Gundam store, and
Okay.
quite a long wait with that one. They're on East Coast, unfortunately.
Hmm.
Uh, so it did take a lot longer compared to New Type being here in Cali.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, my next haul will be definitely from New Type, and I have quite a few uh, See Destiny related kits on my queue. So
Yeah. I think growing up, the wing was my go-to. That was really my favorite. But
yeah,
like
same.
being like back into like Gundams and like everything, I've noticed that Seed and Seed Destiny have really been like some of my favorites. And then this past weekend, I also started watching the 00 or double O, however people want to
Yeah,
say it.
double up.
So I've started watching that one. I had only seen maybe like 3 episodes before, and then now I'm starting to get back into it again. So Probably I'll have like an Exia model, once I'm finished with this, haul that I just got.
Mhm.
So,
Like in my honest, since we're already talking about Double O, we'll save that for the later half of the show.
sure.
As our series retrospective. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Back to the kits I'll be getting
Mm-hmm.
next few weeks. I was really debating with getting the real grade Destiny Gundam because I've
Oh
been
yeah.
getting real grades lately and I want to try to keep that consistent.
Mm-hmm.
But I've heard a lot of mixed reviews for the real grade Destiny, and especially with how big and heavy the wings are with the backpack with the mounted
Yeah.
beam rail gun, as well as where he keeps his sword sheath and all that. I heard that really takes a toll on the inner frame. So I'm gonna instead go for the high grade revive version of it, since the one that I currently have is very old, and
Mm-hmm.
sadly, um, quite a few of the hands did break at the
Oh
ball peg area. So I'm
no.
like, oh no.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
had
able
that
to?
since high
Were
school.
you?
I think that was like 2009 or 2010. So I think it's time for
Wow.
me to upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah. I know that, like, the kits that we have, they have like the memories and everything, but yeah, sometimes, they come out with the newer kits, and it's cool to upgrade,
Hmm.
especially if they're coming out with like newer frames, like sturdier frames, like how you're saying, like the Destiny, I think that's the problem that I've heard with Destiny for one, but also with some of the other real grades that have like the heavier accessories and the armor and the wings, is that their inner frames, they just don't keep up,
Like
so
Q Wing Zero Endless Waltz. It's barely been a month, and I can already tell the binders for holding the which ones. I think it's the front wings, the biggest ones.
mhm.
They're already like starting to like feel loose. I'm like, oh geez,
Oh
already.
man.
And I got that one after the Wing Gundam, uh, the first Wing Gundam version,
Yeah.
when it had the red, blue, yellow scheme, color scheme, and that one's still holding up a lot better than the Endless Waltz version.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got that one before, so it's like that's so weird. But yeah, uh, and I will, along with that, I'll be getting my second master grade, the master grade Destiny Extreme Blast version. I was debating on getting the first version of it, but it didn't come with the. From my understanding, it doesn't come with the what's it called? I don't know the technical name for the pink wing and all that the Destiny does, but it doesn't
Mm,
come with effect parts. So I went with the Extreme Blast one.
yeah.
So yeah, off to our main topic. There will be a new Gundam movie coming out next year or end of this year, and I talked to you guys about this way before the podcast ever became a thing, and it's called Gundam, Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway, and it's going to be based off the novel Mobile Suit Gundam Hathaway's Flash. Are you ever heard of Hathaway's Flash before, Gilbert?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
So that's something
So,
I definitely want to pick up. If it's, if the movie is going to be based on that, then that's something I
mhm.
want to look into.
um, Before picking that up or reading on it online, I recommend you watch or rewatch Gundam Star's Counterattack, because Hathaway is actually introduced in that for the first time.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Hathaway Noah, he is the son of Captain Bright Noah from the original Gundam series.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, he's the son of Bright. Mr. Slap Boys to turn them into good Gundam pilots, Bright. Oh man, but um, I really do hope they take some liberties with this novel though for the movie version, because it's not a happy ending. I'll just tell you that.
Oh man.
Yeah. Um, the trailer. There's two trailers out online right now. I'll send it into the podcast Facebook channel. I mean,
Okay.
Facebook chat. But yeah. Have you heard of the Penelope Gundam, by the way?
Yeah, yeah, I have. Yeah.
Yeah, they have a high grade out for it right now, and that's the one that Hathaway ends up piloting. So that's a
Oh.
really big high grade kit. So I'm like, I don't know if I want that because where am I gonna put it? Like the Gundam part itself is small, but the huge giant armor set that he pretty much gets into,
Yeah.
pretty much like it's really wide. So it's like, oh boy, I don't have the space for that thing.
I'm looking at it right now. It looks really big,
Yeah,
especially when you put like the actual like, master grade next to it. So, wow.
like whoa. And like I've seen some reviews for it already, and it's a pretty really good um high grade, but it's just the space that I don't have for it. And the stand that it comes with, it looks very weak. I'm looking at the kit right now, that stand that it comes with, it looks like it could break after like a month of just keeping the whole entire set connected there. So, yeah, Edwin, if you're listening to this, you got some catching up. But yeah, there's one kit so far, and that's the Penelope. As in terms of other appearances that Gundam has been in, I think it's only been in some of the video games that were in Japan.
Hmm.
Um, the only time I actually ever seen that suit in action, though, would be the game Gundam versus Extreme Maxi Full Boost, and that thing is cool. um, I'll send you the video link to that one too, because in the opening sequence of that game, it's teaming up with the Unicorn Gundam in its full armor mode with all the guns and all that. So that's really cool.
Awesome. Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. Yeah, put it in the chat.
I will. I got some fun questions. Um, or actually, do I only have one? I think I have one here on my notes. Since we did talk about favorite characters, least favorite characters, um, so and different mobile suits, least favorite, favorite. We'll go on to mobile armor. The big, huge, giant Gundams or mobile suits that have been appearing in various um, series throughout the franchise. So, Gilbert, are you familiar with a lot of the mobile armors from the series?
Mostly like what we've been talking about, like the double O's, the like those series like that we've talked about. I haven't ventured to like Origins too much, or not a lot of like the other series, but like those are those like the mobile suits that like the mobile armors that you mean?
The mobile armors are generally like the giant, huge mobile suits that tower over Gundams and everything else.
Oh, those.
Yeah, those are mobile armor.
Not so much. No, no, I haven't explored that much into it. I'm
Uh,
I'm very I'm basic.
but you've heard of the Big Zam, though, right?
Yes, I've seen models and everything. Like it's huge because that's me. Like if I start going down the rabbit hole on YouTube, and I will go ahead and start seeing like the different like builders. I love seeing like the builders videos and then like their unboxings, because like that's where I get a lot of the ideas for like when I paint. But I've seen, yes, just like that huge one. I've seen that before.
Okay. Have you heard of the Psycho Gundam?
No, no, not the Psycho Gundam.
Okay. Um, I'm looking at it right now, so I will describe it to you.
Sure.
You know the Zeta Gundam, right?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, that's from that series. And the Zeta Gundam. could fit in this thing's hand.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's how big it is. And the fact that it transforms into fortress mode. And then within the same series, there was a Psycho Gundam Mark II. And,
Let's see.
there's this one that you would know for sure. The Devil Gundam is considered a mobile armor from G Gundam.
Oh yeah.
Yep, that's a mobile armor.
Let's see. I'm pulling up the Psycho Gundam right now. Oh yeah. Okay, so I do see how big the monster centerpiece. That's what they're describing here. It's called the monster centerpiece. But yeah, I could see the size difference on it. Wow. Yeah, I don't have any room for those right now.
When they came out with the high grade, like I think early 2010s, I was like, ooh, I want that. But then I was like, nope. I think I saw it displayed a couple of times at Frankenson's at one of the Gundam sellers there. And I'm like, yeah, I have no room for that. Oh man. Like I think it's the scale is in between master grade and perfect grade. That's what I recall looking at it as compared to a high grade.
Yeah.
It's in between.
Wow. I'm totally impressed by it. I really like it.
Mm-hmm. I think there is a mobile armor within Double O. I can't remember, but I think there is one. And let's see, what else? Oh, have you watched Unicorn?
No, I haven't. After Double O, I was gonna get into Unicorn because I guess that's like the big thing, like the newest big thing, that people always talk about. Obviously, the giant statues in front of the store,
Yeah.
So I mean, I've always figured that it's something big. So I just never. By the time that I wanted to just try getting back into it slowly, but now I want to definitely check out Unicorn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and since you recently rewatched Seed and Seed Destiny, the Destroy Gun is also mobile armor.
Oh yeah.
Or Stellar.
Yeah.
Dude, legit, when I first saw that episode of her death, I was still in high school and I was like straight up crying. I was like, it's all Kira's fault. Like, I was just as angry as Shin in that moment. I was just like, oh my god, that idiot, why did he have to show up? Shin had everything under control and he was about to save Stellar, and then nope.
But you know what though? I mean, if we really think about it, so he would have, okay, let's say that he would have saved her. But she was so unstable, mentally unstable, because of everything that they had done. How long could she had gone without having a relapse, so I mean, yeah, he could have saved her, but not completely. I think that she was too far gone.
I don't know, because like the process of what they do to I don't remember the term that they use in the Seed universe, but for of course with UC Universal Century, they called them cyber new types.
Mm-hmm.
Like the not really new type soldiers, but the Seed equivalent to that, it's like they had to give them a lot of drugs and brainwashing. So if they just gave back like her put her back on her meds basically, but didn't do the brainwashing, and she might have been able to be fully saved and redeemed by Shin. But I don't know, because Shin had to snap her out of it, then I guess, yeah.
Yeah, I just don't see her ever making a full comeback. I think that she would still have a lot of relapses and stuff.
Hmm. All right. Okay, so moving on to well, what that was question one. Question number two. Um, since we talked about our favorite characters and least favorite, they're usually guys. Let's give the ladies' turn. So who's your favorite female character out of the entire series?
Favorite. God. And right now, like, of course, I just went blank. Give me a second. It's it's what's her name from? Sheesh. And me and you have talked about her too, and now I've just gone blank.
What's
God, what's her name? It's like, and it has like she has a Spanish name, but it's pronounced not in the Spanish form. It's like, is it like something Luna Maria or Luna Mara, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, from Sea Destiny.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
I
pretty
think
cool.
oh yeah, dude, she is hands down just a badass, dude. That's I was like, I can't think of it right now. It's been a long day, but no, yes, that is definitely my favorite. I think she holds her ground, you know.
Better than
So,
Kagami, that's for sure.
oh yeah, yeah. You know my gripes with the whole Kigali thing. She's just like standing there, like, "Don't fight, don't fight." I'm like, dude, you're gonna get people hurt, man. Like trying to come after you.
Oh
So
my god. Since last time we talked we when Edwin and I heard your gripes against Kagali, right?
yeah,
Like I can imagine you giving here's a little joke reference from Simpsons. You know that cake that Marge got that said "At least you tried"? That's you giving it cake to Kagali. At
that
least
would
you
be me.
tried.
At least you tried, Kigali. At least you tried. And at first, Kigali was pretty like she was a pretty strong female character, and I did like her. For that. When they first met her, and they just they put her out of her element because she wanted to be like inside the mobile suit. But unfortunately, she just wasn't meant for it. At
Yeah,
least she tried,
yeah.
hey, and that should have been it. She tried once, all right, cool, and then let's move on. But then she went out there multiple times, and I was like, no, why do you keep doing this? So
Right? What's that
some of
quote?
the
The definition of insanity is like doing something over and over, but getting the same result or something. I don't know.
yeah,
Something
that is
that's
that's what
Kagali
they
in a
call the
nutshell.
definition. Yeah, she is a bit insane. Also some of the like the lady captains and everything, I
Oh,
guess they call them like the
Talia.
forecasters.
She's awesome.
you know some of them have really like they hold their ship, man. They are definitely awesome, when they're taking control. So I like their characters.
Okay, cool. Um, my favorite female character is Relina Peacecraft. No, it's not.
Come on,
Nope,
bro.
nope. She's like number 10 on my list.
Dude, like, man, that I don't even have words. I know Edwin would be like, "What?"
Edwin
He'd
would
have
have
a
hung up.
huge thing to say right now.
Edwin would have just hung up. Oh my god. But like I think I mentioned her like a while back. I think it was in our first episode of this, and literally my number one favorite character not just because she's an awesome and really good pilot. Like it's like her backstory is just so compelling and sad. It's Marita Cruz
Mm-hmm.
from Gundam Unicorn, and she pilots the Kshatriya, which it seems to be a downsized upgrade to the Queen Mantha from Double Zeta, and then eventually she pilots the Unicorn Banshee. So Yeah, her backstory is pretty tragic. Do you mind if I say what she goes through, since you haven't seen the series yet, or you want me to
No,
just
no,
have you
go.
watch it?
I'm all right with the spoilers, because
Okay.
that will, like, like some things I really, like, it just depends on what it is. With this, like, the more information I can have about, like, the backstories, I can understand the characters, because sometimes there's so many characters in, like,
Yeah.
in the shows, like, you almost forget, like, some of their backstories. So, like, I don't mind knowing more about this character.
Okay. So Marita, she is a pilot with Neozeon, um, and she's actually a clone of Puru from Date. I can't talk right now. It's been a long day. She is a clone of the character Puru from Zeta Gun. No, not Zeta. Double Zeta Gundam. And after the war in that series, she is the clone number 12. So they just kept out pumping out clones of this girl Puru, and
Mm-hmm.
then after the war, Neo Zeon was like, "Oh, we don't need these kids anymore. Let's just abandon them." She ends up on the street, and sadly, she gets trafficked. Yeah,
So, like,
uh, uh,
wow.
really dark uh, backstory there, and then it's even more tragic because she's like a teenager. So um, yeah, and then eventually she is saved from them when Neo Zeon showed up, and then she becomes a soldier again. And it turns out, though, Marita, despite all the things that has happened to her, she's actually a very good person at heart. I'm looking right now back onto her character profile. She's very empathic and caring, who avoids inflicting unnecessary damage to soldiers and doesn't want to hurt most people emotionally. Although on the battlefield, she can be seen as emotionless and scary by uh, her opponents as well as her allies. Yeah, and
Okay.
fortunately, at the end of the series, she dies, sacrificing herself for Benager. Yeah,
Yeah.
so she's my number one favorite because of like her backstory and her redemption arc that she goes through. And second would have to be Luna from Sea Destiny.
Luna's cool too.
Yeah, dude, like she seems to be the one like, oh, if I was in Zaft, I could talk to Luna. I could maybe talk to Shin when he's not having a hissy fit. I'm like, punch me. And then Ray probably be like, oh hey, what's up? Okay, you don't want to talk to me. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Um yeah, let's see. Third favorite def would again from Seed Destiny would be Captain Talia. Um
Yes.
so yeah, that's pretty much that in terms of my favorite female characters throughout the entire franchise. Um, so second half of the show, this episode might run a little shorter because Edwin's not here. But the second half of the show, from now on, I think we're going to be covering a series retrospective for uh, oh man, I had a brain fart just now. What the heck? Um,
you know, Going right back to, like Captain Talia,
yeah.
do you, like, I know that you look more into, like, the voice actor. Oh, well, you don't watch too much of, like, the dubs. I watch more on the dubs. I know that you like the subs, so I don't know if this would even relate to what you watch. But do you ever feel like a lot of, like, the captains, like, their voices might be like the same voice actors? I have to actually look into the voice actors. I've never gone that far into it. But I think, like, sometimes, like, when I'm watching the series, I'm like, hey, wait a second, this voice actor sounds the same, like, between these two types of characters.
So wait, going back to your question, did you say that you watch it as sub?
I watch it as dubbed. So
Oh, it's dub.
yeah, that's
I'm
why
sorry, I can't
and I know
answer
you
that
watch
question.
more sub.
I
Yeah, you watch
don't
more sub.
remember the English voices for Seed Destiny's dub.
Yeah, so yeah, I had to do a little bit more research on that because I was like, sometimes like the voices sound so much alike. I'm like, yeah, you know, but yeah,
I'm
that's all I wanted
sure
to know.
I don't like Kira's English dub voice.
And you know what? Because I was watching it on Hulu, and like on Hulu, it's cool because they have both versions, sub and dub, and
Okay.
if you start on we'll say if you start on dub, you can keep on going every episode dub 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 dub. But one time, I don't know what happened. It got out of the rhythm, and I was dub dub, and then all of a sudden sub, and I was like, "What's wrong with these voices? The voice is so weird to me." Like you know, like when because I watched it a little bit, and I wanted to see because I know that you have more love for the sub version. So I was
Mhm.
like, you know what? I'm gonna give it a try, and I'm gonna check it out. But then when I was watching it, I was like, I couldn't get the English voices out of my head. I was like, this character is not the same to me anymore. So it really caused like a big whole like train wreck like in my like ears and in my brain when I was trying to watch it that way. So maybe if I start a series out, you know, as a sub, then and go through it, then that's okay, you know. But if I try to watch it in the middle where I'm already invested in the characters, then it's really hard.
Hmm. I can see what you mean. I could not really recall the English voices for Seed Destiny and Seed, but
Mm-hmm.
the last time I heard the voice and actually had to go through it because I was actively playing this game, it was
Okay.
Dinosaurs Gundam 2, and they did not have the option to pick the voice selection yet. That didn't happen until 3 and the fourth game. So I was stuck with hearing the voices of Kira, Authren, Lacus, Kagali, Shin, and Luna in their English dub.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching Seed Destiny more than the English dub of Seed. So, and it's like, I didn't really know Seed Destiny yet. I didn't, but it's like my PTSD of hearing like Kira's English dub voice being very annoying to me when I first saw it on Toonami, I think in like 2006. I was like, no, I have to sit through this. Like, I was okay with Shin and Luna because, like,
Okay.
to me at the time they were new characters, and it's like Shin's English voice seemed okay to me as well as Luna.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you know, you and Edwin know my disdain for Kira, whether it's English or the Japanese subtitled voice. I'm like, no, no. But
He's like, you know, I whenever you talk about Kira, like I picture you hating him like when I used to play Street Fighter all the time and like how, you know, players would say such and such character is so overpowered, you know, and that's how I feel like your hate for Kira is. He's an overpowered character that you wish would come down back to earth a little bit.
yes, exactly. And that's another thing that I didn't like about Seed Destiny. It's that it was so focused on Shin, but when Kira came back, it stayed that way.
Yeah.
Because Shin's whole series, and then when the one from the previous one came back, they stayed with the older character.
That really threw me off at first, because you know everything was about Kira, you know, like basically, you know, and Shin was not a background character, but you know he just wasn't as fleshed out. and then here comes Destiny, and it starts off really heavy with him, and I was like, oh, okay, so we've just forgotten about like basically the last main character, so now we're gonna start investing in these. So yeah, it really threw me off a little bit.
That was like a parallel to Zeta Gundam, since Zeta Gundam was the sequel series to the original. They had a new character, and what it did good though, even though they brought Amuro back from the original, he didn't become the main character again. It was still Camille Bidan.
Okay.
And that's what I felt that should have happened with Seed Destiny. But because Kira is such a popular character to many Gundam fans, they decided, let's keep Kira in,
Yeah.
So that was another gripe I had with the character of Kira. But oh my god, I think we derailed there for a second from what I was going to talk about as our second topic. This is going to happen a lot, folks. Expect it. So second half of the show, once we get through the topics and some fun questions, a series retrospective, we're going to focus on what our thoughts on series that we have watched in the past. So, and since Gilbert has just started with this one, we're going to start talking about Gundam 00.
Awesome.
Are you watching it English or Japanese?
You know me, man. I'm watching it in English.
Okay. I think it was it came out around the same time as Unicorn, as part of the 30th anniversary back in 2009. I love the very first opening. I love the music. That's another series that I really did like the opening and ending songs for. When I heard the music for opening one, Daybreak's Bell, and then when I heard the singer start, I was like, oh my god, it's Larkenseal, Full Metal Alchemist. Oh my god, this is good. And then the show started, and then we're introduced to Setsuna, Lock On, Tierra, and Alleluia.
Yeah.
They're a Gundam team that came from the colonies on Earth, and then I'm just thinking, wait a minute. Did they just steal the premise of Gundam Wing? How dare they?
It's very similar to it. I'm on episode 12 right now, and as I said, like I had only seen maybe 2 or 3 episodes. Like on the first time that I was trying to watch it, I would try to watch it like in between like my work and everything when we weren't so busy at work, and then I would lose like my place a lot. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it some time to try to like when I have more time to watch it. So but yeah, like I also felt that it was very like based on Wing, because of that. So, and even like Setsuna like has that very like dark, like offstandish character, just like in Wing, also. So that's why I was like, oh, okay, like I can see connections here, So
yeah, and like well, for this part of the series, it involves the Japanese voice actors, but the character that pilots the Reborn's Gundam as well as the O Gundam in 00, he is the same voice actor as Amuro from the Universal Century of Gundam. So it was really cool seeing that voice actor be the hero for so many years, and then for the 30th anniversary they brought him back, but as the final villain for 00.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's why I recommended watching 00 mainly in the sub version, because once Ribbon shows up, you're like, oh my god, that's Amuro. But
Maybe you know what? I mean, I'll try it. I'll try it, this week and see, like how I feel. If I can still get into the characters that way, then I'll try it.
Okay. Yeah, like because from what I remember playing Dynasty Warriors Gundam 3 and hearing Seth's English voice, I was like, I don't know. Like, he seems almost as dry and emotionless as Hiro's English voice. And then when I switched the audio to Japanese voices, it sounds like he has a lot more emotion going on in his performance.
Yeah.
That's what made me want to check out the subtitled version of Double O.
Okay. Yeah, then definitely I'll have to try that out this week. Sometimes I'll be able to get about like 1 or 2 episodes in, but like on the weekends, and that's when I'm really gonna binge on it. But I'll try it. I'll check it out on the Japanese version.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So brief synopsis of the show for people that do not know. Gundam 00. It's a Gundam series, obviously, and strangely, instead of using made-up timelines and time dates and all that, they actually use Anno Domini, AD, which is like, oh, that's cool. So it's kind of a bit more realistic in a way, despite having unrealistic giant mech fights. But oh my gosh, it's been so long since I watched the show. I've only watched Double O twice and never again compared to Seed and everything else. But the premise is there's, of course, governing powers that are fighting over something, as with every Gundam show does. And there's 4 Gundams, and the Gundam pilots are called Gundam Meisters.
Yes.
And they descend down to Earth to basically end all conflict through force. Actually, I'm actually on a computer right now. Let me Google it.
So at the part where I'm at right now, you have the Gundam Meisters, which is like celestial being. So that's the group that they're from. As of right now, there is like civil unrest on Earth. So I don't have like the two sides that are fighting. I believe it's a civil war, on Earth. And then celestial being has been asked to kind of intervene also. But there's also like there's always like that backstory where there's somebody trying to also like take over the Gundams, because there's also another group of people that are trying to capture at least one of the Gundams to possibly to take their technology, and make their own mobile suits. So that's pretty much as far as I've gotten.
Yeah, because compared to celestial being, everybody is just so technologically behind.
Yeah.
And I have to give it to a lot of the designs for the other factions that are not celestial being. Their mobile suits really look like they could be based in real life, I'm sure you've seen the big blocky green ones, the ones that kind of remind people of Zaku's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those ones look like they could be like actually made in real life. Like, as much as I kind of don't like Double O, their Gundam designs were just great though. I really did like them a lot, but not a lot to buy majority of the Gunpla kits. I think the only kits that I have from Double O are the ones that Ribbons would pilot, and that is the O Gundam and the Reborn's Gundam in season 2.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's I haven't seen that. I really like the Exia, you know. So I do like that one. And then as of right now, there was like a reveal of like one other character. I think one of the Gundam sheds his armor. I think that's
Oh, that's
God,
Tiara's
yeah,
mobile suit.
Tierra's mobile suit, and he was really upset about it, you know, and I was just like, yeah, I guess I can understand why, because that was like, I guess their secret weapon. Like, if they really got into like a really bad like fight, then that's what they were saving it for.
Hmm.
You know, as of right now, it seems like you know, Alleluia's like split personality, you know,
Hmm.
that is kind of hindering the team, you know.
Yeah.
So, but of
Oh,
course, I'm gonna.
I know that you were mentioning Tiara's Gundam that pretty much showed its uh, powerful form or something. That's not Transam. That's the Gundam Virtue, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The not heavy arms.
Yeah.
Well, hmm. I think heavy arms counterpart would be more of Lock-On's Gundam, the sniper.
The arms lock on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I could see lock on. Yeah, because he's a sniper. Oh, so that brings me to another gripe.
Oh, you don't like
um,
Lock?
no. Lock on's dope. I like lock
Okay, I
on.
was like, what?
But like, why does lock on want to have his Haro with them all the time? I'm like, come
Oh,
on, dude.
I literally don't know. I mean, yeah, Haros existed in Universal Century and See Destiny, but didn't carry them all over the place. Hmm.
Yeah, I just don't know why. Like, he has them everywhere, and then, you know, I guess sometimes he can, but okay. So sometimes he does warn Lock On about like other, like, you know, oncoming, you know, attacks coming to him. But the Gundam also should be doing that too. You know, they can sense when, like, you know, they're locked on, or
Yeah, they
anything
have
else.
radar
So
systems.
yeah, so the Haro is just there for, like, you know, DJ Provoke's annoyance. That's what I've come to figure.
I always thought of like Lock-On's Haro robot to kind of be like the the R2D2 of Gundam 00.
No, because I like R2D2.
Okay, in this case, we'll call him BB-8.
It's all right. Yeah, like, I don't think he has that much purpose. At least not from the episodes that I've seen. You know, so
Okay.
far.
But yeah, like um, so going on from the synopsis of the show, who's your fave character, whether they are a pilot or a regular person?
Um, so far as even though he's very dark, I still like Setsuna, and then I also like Lock On, you know. So far those have been like some of my favorite ones, you know, for this series. um Not the enemies haven't really impressed me too much so far. They've had like the same, like, almost like the same character build. So
Yeah.
they you know, at least this far into the series. So maybe, like, you know, going forward, then, you know, they'll start fleshing out those characters a little bit more. What about you?
Um, I'm looking right now. In terms of villains, it's for sure Ribbons all Mark from season 2.
Mm-hmm.
The season 1 villains I really don't like. Um, Once their version of Char shows up, you'll be really. I think you might be underwhelmed, and that's sad because a version of Char is usually a good thing in a Gundam series.
Yeah.
But their
Is it
version in
is
Double
it
O,
Graham,
like,
or I
huh?
think is it Graham or
Yeah, it's
somebody
Graham.
came? Okay. All right. I think, yeah. So far, nothing like, nothing that impressive from him, but we'll
Yeah,
keep on going.
like once he gets his mask, he's still underwhelming. Like that's another character I would give that cake to. At least you tried.
At least you try. That's the
But
best.
for sure, out of the Gundam Meisters though, Lock-On's my favorite. Like if a character is like that cool and seems like you could be like pals with outside of battle or something, then yeah, you
Mhm.
know. But like Setsuna, I don't know. He seems like Hiro. He doesn't really seem to know how to socialize. I wouldn't hang out with Alleluia because you might be friends, and then his bipolarness kicks in, and he might kill you.
Hallelujah is the guy that you go, hang out with, hey, let's go to the mall or whatever. And when you're like probably paying for your stuff, he'll leave you at the register, and you better hope that you drove instead of him because you will not get home.
I sadly know some people like that in the cosplay community. Sadly,
Oh no.
and I think I know one or two people like that. And Tieria, sadly, most likely the guy he's too cool. He thinks he's a better than anybody to hang out with people.
Yeah, Tira, I saw like one of the scenes where he's kind of floating around in this like almost like a artificial intelligence, like I would call it a globe, but he's
Oh
floating
yeah,
around
that's
and he's
great.
getting, and he was getting like information that way and everything. So
Yeah.
he seems like he's more intelligent but than some of the other characters, but he still is like he he plays on that, like, and that's why he seems too good.
Mhm.
He even talks down to Miss Sumar. Oh my God, what's her name?
Tsuburagi.
Sumar. Yes, he talks
Yeah,
down
I'm
to her
like,
too, and I was like, "Whoa, isn't she supposed to outrank you, dude?"
yeah,
But
she does. And I'm like, when he was doing that, I was like, how dare you? She should smack you right now with a beer can.
yeah, she loves her adult beverages.
I like it.
So, but yeah, like I was surprised. I've never seen in all the other series that I had watched, like, somebody do something like that.
What, drink?
No, no, talk down to
Oh yeah.
like the captains or like the forecasters and stuff. Usually they hold them to some sort of like higher respect. So
How could you
you could
forget
see
shit?
where. Well, yeah, Shin's a little bit different too, but at the same. Okay, so when Shin kind of like stepped out of line, he didn't he was still kind of like undercover. At least the part that I'm thinking of is in Destiny, and he was kind of undercover, so he didn't want people to know that he was Shin, and that's why he couldn't really say anything. But then when like he saw the opportunity to say, well, maybe you guys should try doing this on the offensive or the defensive, then that's when he stepped out of bounds. But that gamble paid off, but that's just because he had prior war knowledge. So that's the only reason. But I don't know. Tierra just seems very arrogant, so I'll see how
Yeah.
he plays out.
Yeah, so like what was I saying? Oh yeah, favorite characters, Lock On, Ribbons,
Yeah.
and Sumeragi. Um moving on. Uh favorite mobile suit. And since you're still early on, I'll let you go first.
I'm sorry, you said mobile suit?
Yeah, mobile suit. And yeah.
Like I said, the Exia, and that's mostly coming from just like the model side,
Okay.
because there's so many like models that I want to get my hands on with the Exia. So, but if we were like talking about the actual show itself, then I would say with Lock-on's mobile suit. Is that that's the my gosh. Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hold up. Sorry, technical difficulty. Give me
I'm
1
trying to look it
second.
up right now.
Okay, much better. I had I had lost some I used my AirPods.
The Gundam Dynamids.
Dynamis. So I like his because of like how you can basically like use it as like a sniper rifle. So if
Yeah.
you're a sniper yourself, then you have the skills to operate it that way. And of course, then you also have like the other skills to use like the robot itself. So that's why I like that. I'm down with that. And just but from the actual like model itself, I love the Exia, and I want to build that like a clear Exia with like the LED light ups and everything. I think that looks super cool. That would be my little trophy.
The lighting.
Yeah, I won. So, and what about you?
In terms of what I actually like, I do have to agree with you. The Dynamiz that Lock-on uses is I think it's very efficient. As well as Alleluia's Gundams, because they could actually transform into like a high mobility mode jet. So I really do like that. Any Gundam that has a transformation that's not just like a upgraded color swap or something, or form like the Trans Am in the 00 series, or as much as I like G Gundam, the hyper mode Super Saiyan transformation, it's kind of underwhelming. Like if there's an actual change, like the Wing Zero, or in this case, Alleluia's Gundams. What is it called?
Hallelujah is it the Virtue or
No, Virtue. Where is it? The Arios. The Arios
okay.
Gundam. Yeah, the fact that it could transform into a jet. I always think that aspect in Gundam is very, very cool.
Yeah.
What was I saying? Oh, my second favorite though. No, Arios is my third. Dynamez is my second, and the Reborns Gundam is my first favorite. And that one is Ribbons. Ribbons is Gundam.
See, I think I need to definitely watch the Japanese version on this.
Yeah. Like Reborn's Gundam. Like what I like about it, it's that it also transforms. It pretty much. Are you familiar with the gun cannon from the original Gundam series?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Well, this Gundam is just like the old Gundam, the very first Gundam that sets in a scenes in the air, and that one is an homage to the original Gundam from the original series. The Reborn's Gundam is an homage to the gun cannon mobile suit from the original, and the cannons are actually in the back when it transforms into its cannon mode. So it can go from a mid-range mobile suit, which is the Reborn's Gundam in its Gundam form, and then transforms into its cannon mode. It turns into a long-range mobile suit.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, and aside from that, it has their equivalent of the funnels or dragoons, which are called fangs. So it becomes like it can go from short range, long range to all range. Yep. And to see that as a villain mobile suit is very cool.
Oh yeah.
Yep. So, and the fact that the villain, of course, is the same voice as the entire series is main hero. So that was really cool to see. It's like the analogy that I gave it when I first discovered that Toru, the voice of Ribbons, was also Amuro. I gave him that analogy to like, oh, it's like Mark Hamill. He was Luke Skywalker, and then and then he's the Joker too. So
Yeah.
like, yeah. So I found that very, very cool.
Yeah,
The Reborn Gundam is like my favorite suit from the entire Double O series, just because it's so adaptable to what it can do.
It's really cool whenever you see what's it called, like voice actors that are that like versatile, you know, like you mentioned, like Mark Hamill, you know, he's awesome at what he does, you know. But then yeah, like if you can pull off they always say the villain is a funner character to play and everything. At least I've heard that from a couple different voice actors, including like Tim Curry. They've asked him like, you know, why do you always play the villain? And, you know, he says, because they're so much more fun, you know, and I can totally see that. And I love seeing, you know, Tim Curry's work, you know, he totally gets into it.
Oh, hold on a second. Speaking of the villains having more fun, I will send you like the Japanese evil laugh of villain of Ribbons from Double O. Like it is, and just the fact that that voice is the voice of Onward, I'm like, oh my god. He really had fun doing the evil laugh, probably.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think a lot of the Gundam villains have evil laughs, and the fact that there's one that has one, I'm like, yes, this is great. Hang on a second. Ah, no, don't do that. Copy link. There we go. And there it goes. But yeah, it was. I think it's just great. he's my favorite character, and Ribbons has my favorite mobile suit from the series. And that goes into our next part of this question: least favorite character or mobile suit.
From Double O, I mean, I haven't gotten that far into it just yet, so I can't make too much of a determination on that yet. You know, just more being just underwhelmed by some of the characters. But of course, like I mean, I'm 12 episodes into like a 50 episode series, so
yeah,
you know, it's still pretty new.
Okay. My least favorite character for sure. It's not the Gundam Meisters, but we've talked about this dude earlier. Graham Aker.
Okay.
Like, I right away I was like, okay, this guy. I hope he dies like bad. like this should have happened to you like right from the start. But like he just seemed so in my opinion. And then his always wanting to take on the Gundam and all that, only to pretty much whine about losing to the Gundams. And once he gets he's the star clone of the show, and then once he gets his masked persona, it's like I already know who's under the mask. I don't like you anymore. I still don't like you. Just because the mask doesn't make you cool.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's pretty much the only character that I don't really like in Double O. I think. Let's see. I'm typing up on Google right now the mobile suits for this series because a lot of them, the designs I do like, but there are some that I don't like. Let's see. Google's only showing me the Gundams. I'm like, but there's other stuff in the show besides Gundams. Let's see.
So far, I have felt that, well, maybe because it's new and I'm still trying to like take in a lot of like the story, but it has felt that Double O has been very political. You know.
Yeah, it's one of the most political of the series.
Okay, so then it wasn't just me then.
No, it's not you. Let's see. Okay, there's a chart here showing all the Gundam suits for the series. Oh no, this isn't just all the Gundams in the series. Holy crap. I forgot there were this many. I actually don't have a least favorite suit from the Double O. Huh, I thought I did. Oh, never mind. It just came back to me. It is Graham's mobile suit once he becomes his shark persona, and that is the GNX 002. No, GNX U02X of Masudal. It has it looks like his typical Union flag mobile suit, but has a samurai-ish motif to it. It's based off the GNX. Yeah, pretty much. It has like a very samurai motif, and yeah, it's actually like the fact that the Union flags are so skinny. Like, how the heck could the Gundams have any problems with these? You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Like they could break their arms in half without even like the mobile suits from the other I forgot which faction it was, because the GNX series and Union flags are from the Earthsphere Federation, but the other one, I forgot who they were, but they look like real world Zaku's. Those ones. Like, they're very boxy. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Those ones seemed more likely to give the Gundam Meisters trouble, but Union flags, I don't see how the heck they would.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't know how they would.
Yeah. I mean, I know the Union flags are like their version of the GMs from Universal Century, but even the GMs could look like it could do more damage than Union flags.
They're like a mosquito, you know, like
Flags are the battle droids from Star Wars.
yeah. Imagine like, you know, it's like a full Gundam suit fighting against an inner frame. That's what I can.
Yeah, that's a good
picture it.
analogy. Oh man. Let's see. Okay. Last question for this retrospective of Double O. Since you're just starting, what are your personal thoughts on the series so far? And what would you rank it within your favorites of Gundam?
I would say so far it's within my top 5.
Okay.
I'm interested in the story. It's just a lot of information to take in, but I am interested in it. So I'm definitely gonna continue to watch it. So, but I think, yeah, I would say within my top 5. So far I'm good. I would say I'm not as hooked as I was with like Seed or Destiny, like in that sense. But I'm enjoying it. So hopefully, like it does speed up a little bit, and I'll rank it then.
Okay. Um, for me, it was after I watched CNC Destiny in the subtitle. So when Double O was coming out, I was pretty much back into building Gundam model kits, so I got excited. But at first, like I said earlier in the show today, that when I first saw it, I thought it was a ripoff of Gundam Wing, but as I kept watching it, it was something totally different. I know for sure, though, at least the politics in Double O made more sense than Gundam Wing.
Yeah. So far, I
Yeah.
can see that.
So that's that. But in terms of my top 10, I would rank Double O as my number 7 or 8. Yeah,
Really?
he's
So,
low on the top 10 list.
wow. So it falls out of the top 5.
Yeah, it's below the top 5 for me, but it's in the top 10 list. So at
Okay.
least it did rank somewhere.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, like when I was talking to Edwin, when we were still planning out the show, like what was going to be going on with it, when I told him, like, yeah, my least favorite, one of my least, well, in terms of least favorite series, Gundam 00 is not too low on the list. So when I told him, yeah, I didn't like 00 that much, he was like, what is wrong with you? I'm like, what? I'm entitled to my opinion. Like, I really did like the action, and there was like I just said today, like there's only one type of mobile suit that I didn't like in the whole show. Like, I liked pretty much all of them in 00, but some of the aspects of 00 I did like, some I didn't like.
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's also because of my top 10 being mostly comprised of the different Universal Century sequels being already there. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, like a lot, like pretty much half of Gundam is the Universal Century shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then you have the alternate universe shows like this one, 00, Steed, Wing, G, Turn 8, Gundam X. So yeah. So what was I gonna say? I lost my train of thought. Oh man, second time in this episode. Um. Oh. One thing that I always wondered is that you know how in every uh, Gundam series and as well as that series' respective kits, a lot of the Master Grade line is just the Gundam Meisters. There's
So
hardly.
then, so it's limited. So then, the actual Gunpla itself is actually limited for 00 then.
Yes, in terms of the Master Grade line. However, with the High Grade line, they pretty much have it all.
Mm-hmm.
However, you know how most of the villains in Gundam, they get their own Master Grades.
Yeah.
Let me look it up just in case. But let's see. Let's see here. No, there's only the high grade of Graham's busted out suit when he becomes the Shark clone of the series. And I know this for a fact too. There is no master grade of the Reborn's Gundam or the O Gundam. It's only high grade. So that was just like very like shocking to me. Like the villain of this show did not get a master grade kit.
Yeah, it's kind of odd. I wonder why they made that decision not to go and get a master grade or make a master grade for it.
Yeah, that's just weird. From what I'm looking at now, this is long out of stock, but
And it could be that a lot of other fans have the same opinion that you do about the character in the mobile suit, and they probably just said, you know what, like he has low fan opinion, so maybe we'll just stick to the high grade, and if that opinion changes, then maybe we'll do the master grade, but that it could just definitely be to the fans opinion to the actual models.
Yeah, true. But in terms of like characters like Ribbons, it's like it's odd that he doesn't even have a master grade in the Born's Gundam. That's odd. There is a third party resin kit that I'm looking at right now, but it's been long out of stock. So that's strange. Huh. It's so weird that they haven't made a master grade, but yeah, as far as I can tell, let's see. Villains that have master grades. Char has a master grade for pretty much all of his stuff because it's Char.
Yeah.
Let's see. In Zeta Gundam, there was a master grade of the O. There's a master grade Cubile from Gundam, Zeta Gundam, and Double Zeta. There was a master grade Master Gundam from G. There's master grades of all three Tall Geese and the Epion.
Yeah.
There's a master grade Providence from Seed. There's, I guess you could call him a villain by the end of the series. There's a master grade Destiny. There's a master grade. Is there one? Master grade Legend Gundam? Let's see. Yeah, there is one. No, wait. No, it's the old high grade 1 to 100 scale, but that by the end of the series, Ray is considered a villain. So, because he is the clone of Rowley Crusette.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, that blew my mind too, that revelation in Seed Destiny that he was a clone. I'm like, no wonder. Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. I was like, that tripped me out when I saw that.
Okay, let's save the Seed Destiny talk for next time when Edwin comes back, because I want to do that one for a series retrospective.
Okay, yeah.
Of our own opinions for Seed Destiny.
For sure.
Okay, cool. That sounds like a plan for episode 4. Alrighty. So let's see. Yeah, that's all my notes for today. Like I said, sorry for the shorter show, everybody. This would have been going on for the usual hour and a half. Well, it's almost an hour and a half. We filled our we're about to fill up our usual time. But yeah, so oh, I almost forgot. Gilbert, want to tell the listeners what kits you've been working on or completed?
So far, I've just been working on the Flame Toys Transformers series. So I have the 3 Seekers, Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp, and I'm finishing off Skywarp probably tonight. Just doing the last weathering on him, scratches on the paint, and he'll pretty much be done. So once I have him done, then I'll line all 3 of them up together, and I'll post a picture.
Cool. So, and you will be working on the real grade Freedom kits that you got, of course.
I still don't know what order I want to do them in. I've been like looking at them, and I'm like, what order should I start? I think the Strike Freedom will be the very last one, though.
Huh?
Strike Freedom will be my last one. That's the one. Like, it has so many more parts, and like like I think that's like the accumulation of them. So that's why I'm gonna do that one probably last.
Then in that case, I think you should go with the Freedom Gundam first because the Strike Gundam still has a lot of parts too.
Well, Strike Freedom.
Huh?
Strike Freedom.
Oh, you didn't get the Strike Gundam?
I got that. I got Freedom, Strike. I'm sorry, Freedom, Strike, Freedom, and Ale Strike. So
Yeah,
Ale Strike will probably be the first one, and then Freedom, and then Strike Freedom.
Also chronologically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they just seem to keep getting bigger and bigger through the series.
True. Let's see for a second here. I think I'm gonna be getting quite a few on my next haul, aside from the one that I showed you and Edwin on our group chat. I think I might try to hunt down Luna Zaku. Yeah, I might track that one down because I really like it. But I don't know if I'm gonna get it in the Master Grade or the old High Grade to be in scale with my Destiny Gundam. Oh, man. Alrighty, guys. So pretty much with that has been Off the Runner, episode 3. And as always, on the YouTube side of things, you'll be able to check out the stuff that myself and Gilbert have been working on. Edwin will get to his eventually. All right, guys. It's been Off the Runner. See you next time.
Bye, everybody.